Last time, you guys were roasting me in the comments because I made basically a 4-minute tangent about my beard. But the haha is on you guys now, because we got ourselves an offer, a sponsorship offer from a real razor supply company called Supply. They started the bidding at $1K now. It's official, boys. At least a minimum of $1,000 will be going to a charity. We're gonna give it a 72-hour window for this bidding war to continue. Friday, I will be announcing the winner of this competition. The sponsorship will go live a little bit after the wedding, and that's that. Pretty excited. $1,000 minimum going to charity. Wait, actually, Supply just outbid themselves. $1,001, guys. Big brains over at Supply, outbidding themselves. Now, without further ado, let's get into the actual show, because I've got a good one for you today. This investigation took so many twists and so many turns. Once again, we start with an email from one of you, but this time it's anonymous. But suffice it to say, they came to me with a rather incredible story, dare I say, unbelievable story. They start talking to me about this fake guru who supposedly took $100,000 from a lady that was supposedly mentally diminished. And then when she called him out on his fraud, he started to harass her. And I was like, reading this, I was like, there's no way. But when you actually go and look, there's proof. The state of Vermont has been investigating a fake guru known as Patrick Mazza of Evolution Mentor. You can find him on Instagram, and we'll be talking more about him. But the substance of this case is absolutely insane. This lady, who will be remaining nameless, got solicited by Mr. Mazza for a cryptocurrency mining scheme where they were supposed to invest $100,000. And by the way, this is all from a docket coming straight from the government of Vermont. Now, part of this advertisement, listen to this, guys. Mr. Mazza, apparently, part of his presentation featured a photograph of himself with Pope Francis and other celebrities, and promising returns of 507%. He further promised that you invest $100,000, that's the extent of the work you do, guaranteed zero risk, and an additional return of $900,000 on May 19th, 2021. Bruh. Now, this lady is from Vermont, and according to this document, she suffers from mental health conditions which, quote, diminish her mental capacity. Now, she kind of figures out, hey, maybe this is too good to be true. So she files a fraud claim with the TD Bank and filed complaints with the Federal Trade Commission and Vermont State Police. As a result, that bank placed a hold on the funds and wouldn't release them to Mazza. Mazza gets pissed off and he starts to threaten her. He first threatens to sue her if she does not retract her fraud claim, and then goes after her children, saying that Carolyn, Allison, and Robert are in for a rough ride due to their fraudulent actions. We've spoken to our contacts at James Madison and gotten information on Carolyn. We have contacts, so very clear threats. James Madison is a university. I believe that's what they're talking about. And apparently he continues to threaten her and her family by telephone and email. This is just monstrous. I don't know what else to say. And actually, the Secret Service is now involved. On or about June 2nd, 2020, the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation received communications from the United States Secret Service regarding a Vermont resident and people's customers who'd wired money to Patrick Mazza's account at TD Bank in Ontario. So the Secret Service are involved with this fake guru over in Canada, taking $100,000 from this lady and then threatening her when she filed fraud charges against what is clearly fraud. Now, a little bit more about Mazza. You can go to his page. Of course, he's a guru coach, right? Of course, he's gotta be. And when you go to his page, he's got all these pictures with celebrities. Now, are these real pictures? We don't know. But what we do know he definitively faked is when it talks about what sales authorities have to say, and it's a bunch of basically ringing endorsements of him. Well, actually, I looked up the source of those quote endorsements, because all these people at Google are supposedly vouching for him. The VP at Google's vouching for him. Another VP at Google's vouching for him. The enterprise sales manager at Google's vouching for him. Except they're not. Those are photoshopped recommendations from LinkedIn. He took them straight from LinkedIn. These people were publicly endorsing someone else. And this loser decided to Photoshop his own name in there and pretend that he's who they're talking about. This guy, Patrick Mazza, is threatening people. He's faking documentation. It's completely sick. okay, if you want to know what I think. Now, this is where the plot thickens, because one thing that this says is that they met at a Bob Proctor event, which is sort of a guru event. And I wanted to learn more about who this lady is that got, scammed, etc. First of all, I found out who she is. I'll be keeping her nameless for the sake of her privacy. I think she's been through far more than enough with this guy harassing her. But I find out that she also is like a coach of some kind. And so I think to myself, oh my gosh, that's so weird. Fake guru gets scammed by fake guru. But then I find another article, another report of the Secret Service supposedly investigating this lady and her husband. So not only is Patrick Mazza, the fake guru, getting investigated by the Secret Service, but apparently, according to this press release, the Secret Service is attempting to retrieve $3 million believed to have been sent to 2 Peru, Vermont residents as a result of a misleading series of webinars. What is going on? I've never seen the Secret Service involved with anything, and now they're ostensibly involved with both of these things. Now, this is where I started to get confused because, while you can find reports with the Vermont state government for Mazza, you can't find anything here. And in fact, I couldn't find any reports anywhere but this one news website that I'd never heard of, 3W News, about this event. And I thought, wow, $3 million is a lot. The Secret Service being involved is a lot. And there's only one person who's really talking about it, this Mike Smith at the bottom. And this is where, guys, it's important to never trust things at face value. You always got to go a level deeper. And this is always why. I go, oh my gosh, I want to learn more about this. I need to kind of vet all this information. This is the craziest story ever. Like, these people are scamming and then they get scammed by this cryptocurrency, but they're both getting investigated by the Secret Service. Like, what is going on? So at the bottom, it says contact Mike Smith at msmith@gmail.com or at msmithreports on Facebook and Twitter. So I look him up on Twitter, but I can't find him. So I thought to myself, that's weird. So I look him up on Facebook. I can't find any Mike Smith under Mike Smith Reports. So I email him on Gmail at msmith@gmail.com. And this happens. The email bounces, as in there is no email address to be delivered to. So I'm like, that's really weird for a reporter to not have any actual social media. That's very strange. And I'm looking at this, and it's published after all of this stuff is happening. And when I'm looking up the names of these people who are getting harassed by Mazza, all these things about them being scams are coming up, but they're all from a bunch of anonymous websites where they're doxing Mazza's victims. So they're saying, these gurus are scammers, and here's their phone number, here's their email address, here's their whatever. And so I start going to these things, and whenever there's an email address listed, I'll just email them. So for example, one of these supposed complaints, which is once again published super recently and after Patrick Mazza got in all this trouble, it's complaining about, this couple that has basically gotten him in all this trouble. And it's saying it's posting their public information. And then it's saying, if anyone's pursuing legal action against them, please email me at coinpoppy82@gmail.com. So I email him, and guess what? That email address doesn't exist either. So guys, we can't know definitively what's going on here. So I'm gonna have to hazard a few guesses and give you my opinion of what is going on here. The fact that all this bad press is all of a sudden coming out right after Patrick Mazza gets in all this trouble and he's threatening to harass them. I think this is part of the harassment. Do we know this for a fact? No. These articles, I don't believe they're real. This thing about the Secret Service is trying to retrieve $3 million from this couple. I don't believe it at all, because the reporter who supposedly has all this information, doesn't exist. This article, if it were based on actual facts, would be all over the news. I mean, the facts of it are crazy. It's accusing this couple of having ties with the Gambino crime family, right? Of taking $3 million, of the Secret Service investigating them. It would be all over the news if it were real. But the fact that it just appears one time on this obscure news site, and then there are a bunch of other anonymous complaints popping up where the emails aren't real, and they're doxing the people, it makes me think it's all part of the harassment. So now we have the fact that this poor couple who has gotten $100,000 taken away from them, now is getting, their kids are being harassed, apparently at their university is being harassed. This person is of diminished mental health. These salacious, defamatory articles are coming out. Now, we don't know who wrote them. We can speculate, but we don't know who wrote them, to be clear. I don't know. For legal reasons, I don't know. But what an awful thing to happen. I can't believe we uncovered this. And I just wanted to say thank you to the Coffeezilla Army for once again putting me onto these incredible stories. I look forward, if there's any developments in the story, I will of course come forward with that. I did contact Patrick Mazza and ask him if he wanted to comment on the whole story. He didn't respond. But ultimately, guys, I am disgusted. You might think that I'd get used to this stuff, but no, this stuff constantly shocks me. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. It's a crazy world. Catch you guys later.
And don't forget to smash like and subscribe. Thank you.